Hello students, today we will going to discuss attitude and social cognition, that is a chapter 6 from the 12th psychology book of NCERT. So first thing like we will discuss here is explaining social behavior, introduction, nature and component of attitude, attitude formation and change, prejudice and discrimination, strategies of handling prejudice. So all these topics we will discuss. This is the chapter that deals with the social psychology, you can say. We study all these things: attitude change, social cognition in the social psychology. Uh, Social psychology is where we study how social context affect human psyche. So that is social psychology. What is social behavior? We all know that human is a social animal, right? So social behavior is necessary part of the human life. So if we are social animal, then it is important to involve in social activity because we are genetically uh, like that. And being social means much more than merely being in the company of the others. So it is not only you are being with our some other people. You may recall from you what you studied in the class 11th, that social psychology deals with all behavior that takes place in the actual imagined implied presence of the others. So social behavior is like when there are other people and you are behaving in a certain way, even if you are thinking, imagining that there are people and you are acting or you will act in a certain way. So all those things involved in social behavior. So we are taking one example as given in your book. If you have to memorize a poem and recite it, you may have no problem in doing this when you are in yourself. But if you have to recite this poem in the audience, your performance might get influenced because you are now in social situation. So we all know the first time when we present something in front of a big group, or what happens, like you may feel anxious because anything performing alone in your room is a different thing than performing those things in the front of other people. So when we do that thing or perform in presence of other people, so those things affect us because we have something in mind that people will evaluate you, what they will think about you. So there you have a lot of anxiety. Not everyone, but you can say initially most of us have some of the kind of anxiety. Even imagine that people are listening to your recitation, although they may not be physically present, may change your performance because that can affect. Even if you think that they will listen you, they will like evaluate you, that kind of thing. This is just one example that demonstrates how social environment influence our thought, emotions, behavior in complex way. So we can take another example like when you are in class you behave differently. When you are with your friends, then you behave differently. So that happens, right? Because that context is affecting your behavior, right? So all the social context that has an impact on your behavior, on your psyche. That is what we study in social psychology. Social psychologists examine various forms of social behavior and try to explain their basis. Because of social influences, people form views, attributes about people and about different issues in life that exist in the form of behavioral tendencies, right? When we meet people, we make inferences about their personal qualities. Like, and when you meet sometime, the first time to your teacher or your friends or something, so when you see them and you create an impression, even if you have not spoken to those people, you will think that this person will be like that, this person is like that, or he or she may behave like that. So you try to like get uh, i- information from your information from the environment about people and events, and we create a image of certain person around us, and depending on their behavior or just based on our prior experiences with others, and we call it image formation, because you are creating an image about others, right? And attitude is how you behave with others, like what do you think about them. Suppose like we sometimes we say no, we have like that person has negative attitude means the person will talk will see only negative things in the others, that kind of thing is to negate, that is attitude. We are also interested in why people have behave in this ways they do. That is, we assign cause to the behavior shown in a specific social situation. So, ultimate goal is we try to find out the cause why the persons are behaving in certain way or they have certain kind of attitudes. This process is called attribution. So, when attribution means you attribute why that person is behaving in a certain manner, so we call it attributes. Very often, impression formation and attributes are influenced by attitude, so they are interrelated. Suppose if sup- suppose you have learned that boys are like that, like your males have दिस काइंड ऑफ एबिलिटी भी से ना कि लड़के तो ऐसे ही होते हैं या लड़कियां तो ऐसी ही होती हैं, दैट तो दैट इज़ योर एटीट्यूड दैट यू हैव लर्न फ्रॉम योर सोसाइटी फ्रॉम योर फैमिली, ठीक है. So that is attitude, and that attitude will create an impression. When you will meet some boy or girl, depending on your uh, attitude, you will create an impression, because you are believing in certain thing, you are assuming in something, so that will create image. That means you will create that is image impression formation, that you are creating an impression, and then you will try to find out the attribute, yani attribution process means you will find out okay, why they are like that. So all these things are interrelated. These three processes are example of mental activities related to gathering and interpretation of information about the social world, collectively called social cognition. So so these are the mental activities, like you have certain kind of assumptions, that is your attitude towards the certain kind of population or people, and then you are creating an impression based on your assumptions that you have learned, and after that like you are trying to find out the causes behind that behavior. So all these things are happening in your mind, that is they are mental activities, right? And collectively यानी सबको मिला के हम इसको बोल देते हैं कि सोशल कॉग्निशन है, कि कहने का मतलब है कि हम चीज़ों को कैसे परसीव करते हैं अपनी सोसाइटी के अंदर, कैसे हम एक इम्प्रेशंस बनाते हैं दूसरों के बारे में, सिचुएशंस के बारे में, एंड थर्ड थिंग इज़ लाइक उसके पीछे कॉजेज़ क्या आते हैं उसको हम फाइंड आउट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, और इन तीनों चीज़ों को मिला के हम सोशल कॉग्निशन वर्ड इस्तेमाल करते हैं. So moreover, social cognition is activated by cognitive units called schemas. Schemas are like the concepts that you have created or you have learned. As I said, if people are like that, you that is fixed in your mind, or life is like that, or that person is like that. So that is fixed. That is schema, and whatever you think, accordingly you behave. So you have a strong belief in that. So cognitive process cannot be directly seen. They have to be inferred on the basis of the externally shown behavior. अच्छा, एक चीज़ और है कि what I am thinking you cannot observe that. Only you can observe my behavior, how I am behaving, and based on that behavior you can इन्फर कि मैं सोच क्या रहा हूँ। आपने मेरे से नोट्स मांगे, एक बार, दो बार, तीन बार, मैंने नहीं दिए, तो आपने फिर इन्फ्रेंसेस लगाए, इन्फ्रेंस किए, इन्फ्रेंसेस ड्रॉ किए कि ये मुझे नोट्स नहीं देना चाहता है डिलिबरेटली, इसीलिए नोट्स लेके नहीं आता है क्लास में। तो बिहेवियर के बेस पे आप दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है, मेंटल एक्टिविटी क्या हो रही है, वो आप जान सकते हैं। There are other examples of social influence that are the form of observable behavior, and thus such examples are social facilitation, inhibition, that is the improvement and decline in performance and in the presence of others, and helping, or pro-social behavior, that is responding to other who are in need or distress. तो अब कैसे पता चलेगा कि या तो सोशल फैसिलिटेशन है या सोशल इनिबिशन है। सो बिहेवियर यानी या तो आप सोशली एक्टिव हो रहे हैं यानी सोशल फैसिलिटेशन है, और आप सोशल इनिबिशन यानी आप नहीं कर रहे, मतलब लोग सामने आ गए और आप परफॉर्म नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, इसका मतलब आपको फियर है, आपके दिमाग में चल रहा है कि आप शायद परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाएंगे, प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी। तो दैट इज सोशल इनिबिशन, यानी आपका बिहेवियर जो करना चाह रहे हैं सोशल सिचुएशंस में आप नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, वो हम सोशल इनिबिशन में बोलते हैं। देन सोशल फैसिलिटेशन, यू आर like doing it properly, so that is social facilitation. So from behavior you can infer that. Another is pro-social behavior. Pro-social behavior is when you are helping others. Pro मतलब साथ मिल के काम करना। तो प्रो सोशल बिहेवियर लाइक दूसरों की हेल्प करना, किसी को कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो गया है, सो वो सारे जो बिहेवियर इस तरह के हेल्पिंग बिहेवियर्स होते हैं उनको हम प्रो सोशल बिहेवियर्स बोलते हैं। In order to understand the completely how the social context influences the individual, it is necessary to study both social cognitive process and social behavior. So अगर हमें अंडरस्टैंड करना है कि हमारा जो सोशल साइकोलॉजी है कैसे काम करती है, तो दो चीज़ें हैं। एक तो है सोशल कॉग्निशन। अब आपको पता है सोशल कॉग्निशन क्या है, कि हम सोचते हैं जो इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ सोसाइटी, तो दैट इज सोशल कॉग्निशन। और हम उसको देख कैसे पाएंगे, हम उसको देख पाएंगे सोशल बिहेवियर के थ्रू। तो अगर हमें सोशल कॉग्निशन को स्टडी करना है, अगर हमें इन सारी चीज़ों को स्टडी करना है, तो हमें दोनों चीज़ों को स्टडी करना पड़ेगा, तभी हम कंप्लीटली समझ पाएंगे। और ये काम होता है सोशल साइकोलॉजिस्ट का। कौन करता है काम? सोशल साइकोलॉजिस्ट जिनको हम बोलते हैं। तो सोशल साइकोलॉजिस्ट हैव शोन दैट one must go beyond common sense and folk wisdom in order to explain how people observe and make sense of their own and others diverse behavior. तो सोशल साइकोलॉजी कहती है कि कई बार तो हम गेस करते हैं कि ऐसा होगा, वो ऐसा होगा, ये लोग ऐसे होते हैं, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग, एटीट्यूड जो हमारे होते हैं। लेकिन सोशल साइकोलॉजी में रिसर्चर्स ने इंडिकेट किया है कि बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि जो आप सोचते हैं, जो आपको लगता है, वो चीज़ें नहीं होती हैं, है ना। थ्रू सिस्टमेटिक एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑब्जर्वेशन एंड अडॉप्टिंग साइंटिफिक मेथड। तो अगर हमें स्टडी करना है तो हमें साइंटिफिक मेथड के थ्रू सिस्टमेटिकली अगर हम उसको असेस करेंगे, समझेंगे, तो ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा, ज़्यादा बेहतर इन्फ्रेंसेस हम निकाल सकते हैं, चीज़ों को समझ सकते हैं। टू इस्टेब्लिश लॉजिकल कॉज एंड इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप दैट एक्सप्लेन सोशल बिहेवियर, है ना। सो यही चीज़ों को हम आके डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, जैसे नेचर एंड कंपोनेंट ऑफ एटीट्यूड। सो क्या होता है एटीट्यूड, क्या होती हैं, क्या होता है प्रो सोशल बिहेवियर, जो भी कॉन्सेप्ट्स हमने पढ़े, तो उस और डिटेल में हम उनको पढ़ेंगे। सो दैट वाज इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ सोशल बिहेवियर।